What's up guys, and welcome to Ívar's Fly Workshop. Today we'll be tying a really special fly called Caviar. As you see, it's like an egg pattern fly, and for the Caviar we are using a Trout Predator number 4 TP610 from RX, and I'm picking those hooks especially because of the gauge or the gap of the hook. That has to be like wide enough because the body of the fly is rather thick, so there has to be like it must be secured that the gap of the hook isn't closed or isn't too narrow. So we start by using this tin or lead wire as a weight. You can actually, if you like, as well just use a bead on the front of the fly, but you can tie it in both ways. But I'm gonna use the tin wire or lead. It depends on in which country you live. Lead is not illegal here in Iceland, but I know it's illegal in some countries. We'll zoom up for you guys so you can see better what we are doing. This is like about the position that I like to place the lead in, and to secure the lead and the weighting of the fly. I'm just place a little bit of a snap cap on the back and on the front, just a tiny drop of it. And then we will start by wrapping our thread around the lead, and to secure the lead down and get like grip so it's not sliding back or forth on the hook shank. And for the thread we are using a Semperfli Nano Silk 100 denier, a red. You can use an orange one for this fly as well. I prefer to use a thread that has a color similar to the body material of the fly, something either orange or reddish. So we build up the lead and the body like this. Then comes the pearls. Those are glass pearls, which are not like a normal fly tying material at all. This is something which you get out in the handicraft store or somewhere. I pick those, this orange color. You can probably use a red as well. And as you saw, I placed them on like a tippet from a fishing line or leader. Actually 10 lips. That's the weight I'm using. But you can also, if you like, use a wire. The wire is a little bit easier to work with. And the body structure, if you use a wire for the beads, that's the most time of the fly that is to thread up the beads on either the wire or the tippet material we are using. And now comes the tricky part. I made like a loop on the other side of the tippet, so the pearls cannot slide off. But when wrapping and making the body of this fly, you have to keep like a constant tension on the beads. So if they are facing like downwards, you have to keep like a tension on them, so they will wrap equally around the body or the shank of the hook. And this can, as you see, this can be a little tricky, but the results in the lake when you are casting the fly, those are definitely worth it, especially in late season when you have already some possibilities of eggs floating around in the water. And this is how we do this. We wrap the pearls around the hook shank. And you have this space there. You can kind of adjust them with your fingers and stuff like that. But it's a little bit of a challenge of a fly, and this is definitely one of those really special flies that had been devised and developed here in Iceland. And the angler or the fly tyer who made this fly originally, her name is Helga Gísladóttir, and I contacted her for tying this fly and get about the correct information and the methods and stuff. And as you see, yeah, this is a little tricky. I want to take one more spin, but like I say, just try it yourself and then let's talk. It's not an easy task to get like an even body of the fly, and so, but you can always adjust something a little bit with your fingers. Yeah, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And now I'm gonna lock in the beads, or lock in the body in its position. And as you see, you can twist it a little bit around the shank, so you can try to get them more even like that. It does not necessarily have to be perfect. You just have to place the and secure the tippet. Now I'm gonna trim off or snip away the tippet, and you have to hold the beads in place, because otherwise it'll be going all over the place. And believe me, there are few on the floor, because I tied like 8 or 9 flies of them just to get about the feeling for it, and there are some beads on the floor already, which will be food for the vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to try to find them on the floor. Now I'm going to do with the thread, I'm going to strengthen the fly. That means I'm going to take the thread and wrap it in between the pearls and around, and that is going to make the fly much stronger. And you just wiggle your thread like in between them, and that is something which you can do like a few times, and it gives a little bit of a reddish color in between them. So it's like for me it looks like more natural. As you see, this is only making the fly body stronger and more durable. And just wiggle it through to hide the thread in between the beads. So for a final touch of the fly, like with the thread, I'm gonna use like an orange eye stub, some color that is in harmony with the color of your beads. It depends on what kind of beads you like to use. You can use orange, darker orange in this, even red, and you can probably mix them together. But the original fly was tied like this, and with only one color in the bead. And we are going to use this stub in close to the hook eye, simply to close the gap. You would not need the stub if you would tie this fly with a bead head, but that is more complicated to, it's gonna, believe me, it's gonna look much better like this than with just with the lead or the thin wire under the body, and then the stub in the front right behind the head. Now we'll do our wave finishes, a couple of knots, and then snip away the thread. The next step, or the final step of the fly, that is to place and do the, here you see it with the bead, and it's like, it looks better, like look what I'm doing, even though there is one pearl missing. But the final touch of the fly is to coat it with a UV resin. I'm just using like a medium viscosity UV resin from Fulling Mill. You can actually use whatever UV resin you have. Those are all very good. And when working with UV resin in large amounts, like what will go on this fly, it's important to place not too much in the first round or the first or two rounds. It's better to go and make like 2 or 3 layers of UV resin and sap them in between, rather than to make one thick, because the light is not, the UV torch or the UV light is not gonna sap it all the way through. It must not be too thick for that. And you'll just bake it with our UV light slowly to get the first coat ready. And then we are going to place another round of the UV light on it. And I'm gonna just do a little bit of fast forwarding here. To finish off the fly, we'll be using, to coat the rest of it, we'll be using a Solaris bone cure for that. And that's preventing the body to be sticky or tacky or anything. Just place a light coat over everything, and it's gonna be just fine with that. This fly has been successful here in Iceland, both in running water and in still water. It's a relatively new fly here in Iceland. It was just tied last year, I think, and I have a friend, I know Helga, who made the fly in the very beginning. She caught some sea trout on it. There you can see it. It's like a whole military of caviars. And it's like a funny looking fly. I don't know if it reminds a fish only on eggs or some caddis or some stuff, but at least it works, and it's been working great. And it's made out of alternative materials. I'll just sap the very last of it, and I just want to say thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.